Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this series, I'll take a rough rock or slab and I'll show you how I make a cabochon from the start all the way to the finish. And this week, got a rock from a viewer out in California. Let's make a cabochon. So this is today's rock we're going to cab. Liz had sent this from California with a bunch of other rocks. I took 10 of those rocks she sent and I did a slicing episode 43, and I'll put it up here if you want to take a look at that. And then I saved some nice looking ones out on the side, and this is one of them. And I really liked it because it had, looked like it had fortifications running through it. So I'm thinking it's either Chalcedony and Chert or quartz and Chert. But you can see all the little swirly marks in there. I thought that was so cool. So here's what the inside looks like. Yeah, got fortifications all over the place in there. All right, so it's going to take this side here. Dry it off so I can mark it up. So I have a new pattern. Now, if you don't know, I make my own templates here and I sell them on Etsy. So if you're interested in them, they're in the link down below in the description. So this is a flame, and I've been wanting to try it out. And we're going to do the 1.5 inches, and we're going to do it right about there. I use an ultrafine Sharpie to mark it out. Just like that. So now we'll take it downstairs and I'll trim it out on the trim saw, and then we'll take it over to the cab machine and make cabochon out of it. All right, we're on the high-tech trim saw here. I'm going to trim this out and get it ready to go on the cabinet machine. All right, that's close enough for me. Got a little close in the line there, but I think we're okay. So I'll see you over in the cabbing machine. All right, we moved over to my Keighley North cabber here. That's 6 inch. We're going to start with the 80 grit, and then get down the line on the 220 grit, and then finish up on the 280 grit. So let's start grinding. All right, that's close enough on that wheel. Let's move over to 220 grit. All right, I think we're about there on that wheel. So we're going to move over to 280 grit, clean this edge up here. See how we're looking here. Yeah, looking pretty good. So when I say cleaning up the edge, the only edge I'm cleaning up is this flat edge I put in on the 220 grit. I'm not worried about any of this stuff up here, just along the bottom part right here. This is where the girdle's going to be when we start doming it. So that's the only edge I'm cleaning up. I'm not worried about anything else on this rock. All right. I'm going to throw this on the dot pot and get a stick on it, and then we'll come back and make it into a cab. All right, we're back. We're all dopped up here. Basically, I'm just gluing a stick to the rock with some lapidary wax, and it's easier for me to operate it like this. Some people do it by hand. I like doing it with a stick. So what we're going to do is we're going to establish a girdle on this rock here. There'll be a flat edge along the bottom here, about an 1/8 inch. 2 millimeter-ish, and we'll do that on this wheel here, and then once we establish this girdle here, then we'll start doming it and then work our way across. So I'll get set up here. Alright, I got my girdle established. You can see this flat line right here. Goes all the way around the cab. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after this edge here and work my way towards the center. Get ready for doming. Now stay away from the girdle because you established that. You don't want to be grinding into that anymore. Oh, gonna be one of them days, I guess. Oh, I'll get it back onto the another stick here and we'll keep on going. Got it all back on the stick. Let's keep trucking here. Alright, pretty much to the center of this rock because it was kind of high in the center here, so I'm going to start doming it. Alright, I think that's good enough. I like the height here. Let's move on to 220 grit. Alright, I'm liking that. I'm going to move on to 280 grit. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Check for scratches. Sometimes they're really hard to see in a heavily patterned stone like this. I'm going to run it for a little bit longer. I really didn't see any, but I just want to make sure. God, man. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to redop this and we'll be back. All right. Let's try it for the third time to see if we can get this thing to the polishing side. So I think we were on the 280 grit, so let's continue there. Nice looking cap. If I get it to the polishing side. Alright, I think I'm going to move on to the polishing side. Alright, we're over here on the polishing side. We'll start with the 600, the 1200, and the 3000. Alright, now we'll move on to the 1200. See what we got going here. Kind of liking that. Let's move over to the cerium oxide and see if we can bump this just a tiny bit. Alright, got my splash shield in place. This is a cerium oxide impregnated disc that sticks to a foam pad and that screws into the end of the shaft here. I really like this thing. It's very clean. Don't have to mess with powder or anything. It's replaceable and it does a fairly good job. So let's get started. Alright, let's see what we got here. A little towel, pant leg and shirt. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, I'm going to throw this in the freezer, get it off the stick, because it didn't fall off this time, and then we'll take a close look at it. Alright, here's what we ended up with. Look at that. Beautiful pattern in there. Got the brown Chert, whatever it is, kind of accentuating it. Yeah, it kind of worked out good because on this side I could see some pattern, and I was hoping we'd see it on this side, but this side's even better, which I'm glad it worked out that way. So that's it right there. So I'm going to give Liz first crack at this, and she donated the rock. If she don't want it, it'll end up on Etsy, and check that in the link below. So let's look at this nice cab here for few more seconds and then we'll finish this up. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make a cab from this rock here into this here, from this to this. So Liz sent me some really nice rocks. I couldn't help myself. I had to do one more. So I'd like to thank the subscribers out there. I still see the numbers. They're not going up as fast as I'd like them, but they're still going up. So there ain't nothing wrong with that. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. Click on the button down below. It's absolutely free. Slide over and give me a thumbs up. It gets the analytics out there so more people can see the content. And then you can like it, hype it, and share it, and get the word out that I'm making cabochons and I need people to watch me. And then I'm going to put a playlist up for this series here so you can binge watch it. And then I have another video that comes out on Wednesdays. This one here comes out on Saturdays. And I got a playlist for that where I cut rocks in half so you can kind of binge watch this. You can kind of jump back and forth like maybe every other day, binge watch one of them. I don't know. You guys will figure it out. So I think that's about it. Let me think. I thank Liz. Yeah. Oh, next week I got a piece of dendritic opal. You're going to really like this stuff here. I cut open a few pieces of it already. It is freaking awesome. So anyway, that'll be next week. So that's all I got, and I'll catch you later.